Hey, hey.
And Trip, I need to start getting more comfortable with doing impressions before they're ready to see how. Yeah, with Trip. And Trip's one of my great followers and a good buddy of mine on here. Yeah, you just do the best you can and practice, 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 and don't be afraid of criticism. It's a huge part of the business. I am actually starting a commercial training for my commercial VO work on Tuesday with a prominent voice actor in the business. I don't want to name drop him because I want to make sure he's okay before I speak out. But he's my mentor. But he's been across, I think, 16 anime on Crunchyroll in the last 2 years alone, including he is the main character for one of the Crunchyroll's anime's Jack of all trades. But other than that, yeah, man, just keep it up and keep working hard. But I'd like to introduce you folks to my co-host and my professional wrestling business partner and friend, Edgar, the head of Snug Wrestling. Here on Thursdays, we do 1 hour of Snug Wrestling where we go over random or relevant pro wrestling topics, and we're about to get into that right now. So, Edgar, how are you doing tonight?
Bro, stop. Tell him the truth. Tell him I'm your boyfriend,
Can't hear a
bro.
damn thing you're saying. Are you muted?
Damn it. No?
You're not muted?
Hold on.
Hold on. I can't hear you. You sure your audio's in there, brother? Hold on, folks. Some technical difficulties.
Mic check, mic check.
Edgar?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There you are. For some reason, it wanted me to wear these very uncomfortable headphones.
Nah, it was me. You were good the entire time. I can hear you just fine and everything. It was on my end. So if you want to take them off, you can.
Yeah, thank God. These are so uncomfortable. These are... Oh, can you hear me still?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
And now I can't hear you. So it must be the headphones.
There it is then.
Oh, God. I hate these. These are my shitty headphones. My professional headphones, folks. These are real pros, but I'm on my iPhone, so
That's
I
weird.
can't
I
use
wonder why.
the nice cushiony ones.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just without the microphone, it wants without this on it, I can't hear you for some reason. That's a first.
All right. Well, thanks for the introduction. My name is Edgar. I'm one of the hosts of the Snug Wrestling podcast. And Mr. Bludd, I lied to you when we spoke earlier. I was like, there's not much going on as far as wrestling news this week. Apparently, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. And we're going to cover some of those things here today. This one-on-one with myself and Mr. Bludd on TikTok Live. Be sure to double tap the screen. Be sure to comment and share and all that good stuff. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. And again, we're live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, and 8 o'clock Central on TikTok Live. And we go live every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sundays. And we do prediction videos ahead of WWE pay-per-views or PLEs on Wednesdays before those shows. So we have one Wednesday after next for Saturday nights or Sunday night's main event. And then, of course, we do the show reviews as well those following nights that they're on. So, yeah, pretty good. But I am doing well. Just a lot of stuff filling in the people and everything on what's going on with me. I start my commercial voiceover work with my mentor on Tuesday. And then after 3 sessions, we're going into getting my professional commercial voice demo reel done the following 4th week. And then I start dealing with my new agency, thank God. So we're well on our way, and you guys are going to start hearing me a lot more in commercials. And hopefully within the year, I can book some good TV work because I'd like to do some anime roles and some character roles. So, a lot of good stuff happening.
What are they doing to our boy, Ilja Dragunov, Mr. Bludd? I mean, we haven't seen Dragunov in I don't know how long on main roster TV. And now he has been moved officially to the alumni section in the WWE website. And apparently his contract has been expired. And no one really knows why they weren't using him, why they didn't renew him. I mean, it's Ilja Dragunov. He's a fucking badass. And one would think they can find something for Ilja Dragunov to do in the WWE. But apparently not.
Yeah, that's crazy to me because Ilja is one of my favorites. Obviously, he was last prominently before he had returned in a feud with I believe Braun Breaker and a subsequent side like team up, will they, won't they type of feud with Ricochet before he left, and then they wrote Ricochet off getting attacked by Braun, and then Ilja took up arms for him, but was quickly injured very, very fast afterwards, and he was in like the Rumble with Lesnar, and people thought Lesnar was no selling him. It was a whole thing. And then he's gone for over a year, and he comes back, and he looked incredible, had really jacked up, and became U.S. champion, had some really great matches. To me, I don't know what the fuck WWE's doing, but what a crazy fucking thing. Of all the talent to let go, Ilja is not someone I'd have on my first list. Ilja is so good and so... I mean, the guy's energy is insane. And you'd think that like he'd be a WWE like a Triple H like guy because he came up during the NXT UK era, then the Black and Gold NXT. I am so mad that this means we're never gonna get a fucking Gunther Ilja feud on the main roster. That pisses me off. Gunther versus Ilja on the main roster in a major PLE would have been insane. I cannot believe they just let his contract expire and go out the door. Like, I mean, what a talent to lose. I'm not a big AEW guy, but if Ilja goes to AEW, those are going to be some insane performances. But man, he was, in my opinion, Ilja was 1 in a million in WWE because no one else wrestled like him. There was no one that had that style that he had. I mean, you have like your Pete Dunnes and your Gunthers and your Johnny Garganos that all come from that same echelon of style of independent pro wrestling where it's just very high octane, high impact. But Ilja was different, man. And it's a fucking shame in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to learn more about this. I want to know more and see what was the reasoning behind this because I mean, you just said it. He's a monster athlete. He's really good at what he does in the ring. And I wonder, did he have like some backstage heat, someone back there that didn't like him? Or was this like a TKO call? Because Ilja Dragunov is such a straight shooter that right now the WWE is focusing more on people that can tell stories and, people that can sell merch. Instead, Ilja is more of like, hey, I'm not really going to cut the promos. I'm just here to fight type of guy. I'm wondering if that could be it.
I don't know. He was a great promo.
We got a good comment here by Kay. Shout out to Kay. Says, Ilja isn't 6'5" or 45 years old. I mean, again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. He's a great promo. Yeah, he's intense and he's believable. But maybe they just felt like he doesn't really have that showmanship that most people have. I don't know.
I disagree with that entirely. In fact, I feel like if we were to subscribe to that, and I'm not saying you are, but if we were to subscribe to that, I feel like that's an excuse.
Yeah.
Because Ilja has all of those things. And really quick, shout out to Zach Neese. Thank you so much for sending the roses. Thank you so much. And I do appreciate that compliment. Goddamn, his Raymond Reddington poster fucking gas. I really appreciate all your support. And if you guys didn't know, I did start a new Patreon, and that link is in the bio of my page if you'd like to check that out. But as far as Ilja is concerned, Ilja could cut a fucking great promo. He was very fired up. I loved his entire what was it? Pain will find you or something. He said something really cool about his when he was ready to go into a match. He had the energy. He had come back and put on tons of muscle, at least like 20, 30 pounds of muscle. He looked jacked. He had a great look, great entrance, great presentation. He wrestled like $1 million. He made you buy in. He was great at selling. He took his time. I can't think of one negative thing you could say about him as a fucking full, well-rounded performer. To let someone like that walk out the door is insane to me when there are so many people on this roster that don't get it. That still are trying to figure it out, that constantly botch, constantly make mistakes. Their promos are shit. They need other people with them to help them get over. Jade Cargill, for instance, Tiffany Stratton, who they're strapping Chelsea Green to. Like, there's so many talents I can think of that don't ever fully get it. And they've been on the roster as long as him, if not right under the same amount of time, because he was out for a year on the main roster. It just blows my mind that he's the one that they don't go to with the new contract is fucking crazy. And I can guarantee you, he did not make, I do not believe for a second that they pay him more than they pay like Jade Cargill. I do not believe for a second they pay him more than they like pay Tiffany Stratton. I don't. And so, because, Jade was a big grab from AEW, right? Like, I don't believe that he's got a contract like her. No, he was probably on the same multi-year deal that he was on from his NXT, and then he got called up on that NXT deal, most likely. Like, he's not one of those people who would have needed their contract cut in half for them to save money. He's not making $1 million a year. I'd estimate he was probably making around 400,000 a year, maybe 500 max. Like, and he wasn't featured much beyond the beginning of this year. And to me, him as U.S. champion was awesome. I would have loved to have seen them brought him over to Monday Night Raw and had an Intercontinental Championship run. Could you imagine Ilja Dragunov versus Penta? Like, I mean, that would have been a great match for the IC title. And when it comes down to it, at this point, ABC's, shout out to ABC's, one of our regulars. At this point, TKO is trimming muscle instead of fat. I agree. Great fucking point. Great point. They're literally like not renewing contracts, or they are canceling people's contracts. And it's all the people that people love, all the people the fans want to see that are up and coming and have something that the fans see in them. And TKO's just not giving them the proper chance, but we can run the Bloodline for the 15th time in a row. And shout out to Benzo. Yeah, we never got Ilja versus Gunther on the main roster. I said that just a few minutes ago. I would have loved to have seen Ilja versus Gunther in a number one contendership match or something, like vying for a real title. That would have been amazing. And it's funny, Ilja stops appearing on TV and then they bring Gunther over to SmackDown. They're on the same brand. Like, what are you doing? What a missed opportunity, in my opinion.
I want to give a quick shout out to Ragnar of Odin, friend of the show. Do you guys think we may see a heel Cody again? Thank you for your comment, but we're actually talking about Ilja Dragunov right now. So let's try to stay on topic. If you guys have comments or questions about Ilja, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, Ilja Dragunov joined the NXT UK 2019, former NXT UK champion, former NXT champion, and WWE US champion. The last time that Ilja wrestled was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on April 17th on SmackDown. That was the last time
right before
we saw
Mania.
Ilja Dragunov, and we did not see him ever again.
That was the SmackDown before Mania. That's crazy. It's a fucking shame. They did it to Ilja. Like, the ones that really have pissed me off this year have been Ilja and Zoe Stark, specifically. Two people with an insane amount of talent, like a world of talent, that are just incredible athletes. If you had given them the proper push, put them in the proper positions, and really highlighted them, you're talking about two people who had the potential to steal their divisions as the stars by storm. I mean, I don't know what goes on in these guys' heads. They act like we're a smart company. We know what we're doing. We've been around for 100 years, and we get this, and we know this, and no other company does it like us. And it's like, you're right. No other company does do it like you. No other company lets go prime, grade A Wagyu beef fucking meat of a talent like it's nothing. Even if they didn't fire him, even if they just let his contract expire. Ilja's one of the guys I'm like shoving a contract in his face going, I will give you more money to stay, please. Like, resign. We're going to feature you. We're going to feature you. Like, Ilja's like one of the guys I am clamoring to keep. Okay? Like, for real.
Bruh, like, I'm telling you, it has to be that fucking TKO mentality about, like, hey, let's market to, like, the kids and the families, because I feel like Ilja Dragunov, we like him as grown adult men that love pro wrestling, that have been watching it for a long time. We watch it for specific reasons, right? So, of course, we're going to like someone like Ilja. I don't know if the kids or the families, the parents would like that type of character, like, as opposed to like someone like a Danhausen, for example, who's funny and goofy, And
that's what's annoying. It's like, I don't care. For me, I understand it's a business predicated on it's a family entertainment, but you cannot always be focused on the kids. I'm sorry. The kids may be like your larger demographic for like merch, but are they really? Because it's the adults that are the ones buying it for the kids. So for me, I'm not here to cater to a bunch of children all the time. There's also the adult audience that has to enjoy it. it's so stupid. I mean, they could have really ran with his catchphrase, sold merch on him. What was his catchphrase? Pain will entertain you. I love that catchphrase. Pain will entertain you. Such a great catchphrase, great energy. Shout out to Al Shamari. I'll do it once, but I'll do it once because we are on our wrestling hour. This is not my voice acting stuff. I do appreciate all your support, though. Welcome to Snug Wrestling here on Thursday nights on TikTok Live, where we're live every Thursday for random and relevant wrestling topics. Tonight discussing WWE news and Ilja Dragunov's recent contract expiration. You can catch us live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, and 8 o'clock Central every single Thursday night. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so hindsight being 2020, now that we know all these things that are happening with Ilya, Ragnar of Odin brings up a good dream match that we're probably never going to get would be Ilja Dragunov versus Chad Gable, which is unfortunate, right? But, apparently there was some talk going around in the WWE where the company reportedly planned to bring him back to television after SummerSlam. This is from Yahoo Sports that says, following the news of Dragunov's departure, journalist Brian Alvarez shared more insight on the final months of the former U.S. champion's WWE career. And Brian Alvarez was quoted in this article by Yahoo Sports where he says, "I can tell you that as recently as June, I don't know how close they were, but it was kind of in the works that he was going to be coming back." This was what he said on Wrestling Observer Live. I don't know what happened, but obviously everything fell through. So something happened in between that time period, but that's not the only. This is not the only person that may be getting or leaving the WWE. I also saw some reports that there's a few more people coming up whose contracts are going to be expiring soon, and they haven't been approached with a new contract, at least not yet.
Yeah, WWE does this at least twice a year where there's a culling process of their talent. What I don't understand about WWE is you bitch and moan and you grandstand about, your record earnings and this and that. And, we're having record-breaking shows this and record-breaking attendance that. And constantly boasting about how, this is where everybody wants to be. To come work as a pro wrestler. Athletes from all over the world and people from all over different promotions want to come and work here because we're the granddaddy. We're the cream of the crop. We're the top tier. And then the problem with that statement is you over fucking hire people and over bloat and overinflate your roster to the point where when it comes to, well, now we just want to save as much money as possible, make more money by holding on to more money by paying out less contracts, you just start terminating people left and right or letting their contracts expire or not renewing at all. Like, don't act like everybody wants to come here if you're going to let a bunch of people go the moment that people want to come here. Because for me, it doesn't make any sense. You cannot sit there and say, like they did earlier this year on that press conference and go, oh, well, WWE is, we're trying to save on payroll. Really? If you're trying to save on payroll, why did you just hire Zilla Fatu? Why did you just bring back Big Cass? Triple H and Nick Khan and Bruce Pritchard all just got new contract re-signings with new bonuses. Okay. Really? You're trying to save money, huh? I don't know if they think that we have CTE, but we're not stupid. You can't sit there and tell me you're trying to save money and then you just hired how many people have joined the main roster this year that have just been brought in? Do we know how many people have actually? We just brought Brie Bella back this year, Paige back this year. Let's see, we have Big Cass, we have Zilla Fatu on NXT. Like we have so many other people that are just like appearing. Like that's 5 off the top of my head. I know there's more. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you can't keep Ilja. You can't re-sign him to a new contract. But we needed Big Cass. Like we needed him.
I know why. I know why they brought in Zilla Fatu. Because you said, why did they're trying to save on payroll? Why did you hire Zilla Fatu? it's to counter program AEW All In on that weekend. I mean, that seems to be the goal when it comes to like NXT and like AAA. I feel like they're bringing in more people with already some hype, some momentum. People like Fatu, established stars already, at least in the independent scene, just so they can counter program AEW. Which I'm all for that, but like, what, you guys can't use Ilja Dragunov to fucking counter program AEW? You can. I mean, Ilya's good, you know? That's my opinion.
I mean, you ask me, first thing I would have done after SummerSlam, instead of going with a Gunther and Matt Cardona feud, I would have been like, okay, but we said we were going to bring Ilya back after SummerSlam. First thing I do on SmackDown when Ilya's shit talking all over Chelsea, have Matt come out, but have Gunther cheap shot and beat him down and get so aggressive and so dangerous with him. All of a sudden, a returning Ilja Dragunov comes down to make the save. And then we set up that feud. That's what I would have done. I would have kept Ilja around for that feud alone. That's a feud and matches that would be match of the weekends every PLE from now until fucking Mania season. I'd have set that shit up. It'd have been great. But no, we can't have nice things. So we just release them or don't re-sign them.
All right, let's move on. We'll see what else happens with Ilja Dragunov, if there's any more updates, because the next thing I want to talk to you about, Mr. Bludd, is something that me and you have gone back and forth and kind of argued and debated about numerous of times, and we're going to do it again tonight.
Oh, here we go.
Because as of this past Monday Night Raw, the reports are saying that Roman Reigns has been officially listed internally in the WWE backstage roster, not the online roster, the backstage roster, as a heel after what went down on Monday Night Raw. And I've always felt like, because there's been a lot of confusion, not just with Roman, but with a lot of the stars in the WWE. Are they heel? Are they babyface? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Are they tweeners, right? And there's a lot of debate around Roman Reigns. Is he a heel or not? Is he a tweener or what the fuck? You know, some people say he's a babyface because he's over. I always felt like Roman Reigns, at least the past few months, I'm not going to say he's a heel, but I am going to say that he's a dick. And I've said this before. He comes off like a dick to me. But now apparently the WWE is going to make him full-blown heel.
I don't know if we can oversimplify it that way. I mean, that's like saying, well, Stone Cold Steve Austin was a heel. Majority of his run as Stone Cold Steve Austin, bro, was a straight up face that just gave anybody hands. Like, I mean, this man was stunning the current president. This man was stunning women. This man was stunning Vince's wife. This man was stunning people's moms. Like, but he was a babyface. Like, and that's the thing. He was like a tweener that was mostly a babyface. And then when he was a heel, he did comedy shit. Like, I'm sorry. I don't think it's that simple with someone like Roman. Roman, for the majority of the Bloodline, was a heel. And then he did turn face when they reformed the Bloodline to take on Solo's version of the Bloodline before they were named the MFTs 2 years ago. And then he was still a babyface when he beat him in Tribal Combat January Raw debut last year. And he was a babyface through most of all of last year and most of this year. But I would argue that that most of this year he started turning into a tweener. And I said this before, but Michael Cole did a podcast right before SummerSlam a few weeks back with Stephanie McMahon at the Fanatics Fest, where he straight up said, and Michael Cole would know because he has to sell these guys, but Michael's been there a long time, and I guarantee he knows what these guys are listed as because he has more responsibilities in the WWE than just commentating. He does deal with talent relations and stuff too. That he said, well, the Bloodline, like, look at those guys, you know, like, they're tweeners. He literally said live in front of a bunch of fans, he called the Bloodline tweeners. And if anybody's going to know, it'd be Michael. So to me, they are tweeners because if you look at the way that Jay acts, Jay's been acting more crash out again, but Jay still does the yeeting and running it back. But then he'll jump somebody in the ring in the same segment after running it back for the fans. That's tweener mentality. You do heel shit, but then you interact and give the fans what they want. That's being a tweener. Jimmy was trying forever to help LA Knight and get him to stop fighting with Jay and be on his side and help him. And he was being a baby face while then turning around and being like, but I still side with my brother and don't touch my fucking brother. And then he would beat up LA for touching his brother. That's a tweener. Then you have Jacob, who's definitely a tweener because he was going up against Roman as a heel for the championship, but then he's done like stuff like try to save and not have to hurt Royce Keys, who was his friend. That's a tweener.
Let me give a quick
as of this
shout
past
out.
Monday,
Let me give
I
a
would
quick
say
shout
Roman probably is.
Let me give a quick shout out to 2095 Miguel. Says Goat Man Reigns is the GOAT. Y'all hating if you think otherwise. We're not hating. We love Roman, but he's a dick. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not calling him you call him a dick. I don't call him a dick.
I like dicks, okay? Wait a minute. No. In pro wrestling, as a heel, I like
We're going to clip the fuck out of that. Anybody in the comments, I want y'all to type pause.
I like Roman Reigns as a dick, all right? There you go. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Well, guys, you heard it here live. And I'll do it for all you Raymond fans. You've heard it here live on Snug Wrestling. Edgar likes dicks.
Wait, I said I like Roman as a dick, not Roman's dick. Pause. Hold on.
No, you said at the beginning, and I like dicks. You literally said it. When you replay this back for editing, you're going to hate yourself because you're like, oh my God, you publicly said I like dicks.
I meant to say I like heels that act like dicks, all right? My bad, y'all. Jesus Christ. Hey, man. It's 2026, y'all. 2026. No, I'm kidding.
It's all right.
But yeah, look, I don't remember Stone Cold Steve Austin having a faction that he bossed around, that he undermined, that he told them what to do and talked down to them and treated them like shit.
Stone Cold, yeah, he did.
When he
joined the corporation with Vince, when he helped Vince and joined the corporation, and then him and Triple H were a tag team as a 2-man power trip. They were shitting on anybody in their group, telling them, I ain't doing this, you're going to do what I said, this and that, threatening them with violence. Yeah, Stone Cold absolutely. No, they were a tag team. They had their tag team inside of a faction. Just like how the Vision has Theory and Braun Breaker working as a tag team inside of a faction.
Yeah, I don't remember that part, but and also like you mentioned that people like for example Roman, he can be a tweener or whatever, or someone can be a heel, but they can still like high five the fans. I mean that you can still be a heel and high five the fans. Brock Lesnar does that all the time. He's a heel, or he was a heel when he was in the WWE, but he would still go around and shake people's hands. He even give little kids his hat, but he was a heel. That doesn't really mean that you're a babyface if you go and shake the hands of the fans nowadays, does it?
Yeah, kind of, because it's the mentality. The entire point of a babyface is you engage the fans, you give the audience what they want, and you connect with the crowd. The whole point of a heel, a smart heel, and Paul Heyman said this best actually on a podcast. I'm trying to remember. I think it was a 6 Feet Under podcast with Undertaker just the other day. He said an entire point of a heel, a job of a heel, is to take away what the audience wants, to let the baby face rally and get to that pop, and then take it from the fans. He literally said like a true heel should not be engaging with the fans, not giving them what they want. A real heel needs all the heat. You take what the fans want away from them. You gatekeep it. You steal it from them. You take away the hope spot.
I get that.
So you don't happily slap fives and shit with the fans because that's giving them what they want.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is like people like Lesnar and people like Roman can get away with that.
But Roman doesn't slap high fives with anybody, except for a couple of weeks ago when he literally dapped up a little kid and then he dapped up a grown man on his way to the ring and then like shook his hand and everything. That's full blown baby face. Because when Roman was in the Bloodline as a heel and people reached out, he looked at them like, don't touch me. He looked disgusted at him and would be like, you're not worthy of touching me. Like, you know, like, because to him, he's exalted. So he didn't let them touch him because to him, they're peasants.
So
because to him, he's royalty.
So even after everything that went down on Monday Night Raw, the thing with Solo, how he, I guess he kind of treated Solo like shit, like taking all the things that Solo did to them in the past and like not being forgiving and give him the verbal tongue lashing that he gave Solo on Raw. Solo did attack Roman Reigns, but even after all that, you're still going to sit here and say, yeah, Roman's definitely a babyface. Yeah.
No, Roman is a 100% a tweener that leans babyface or heel depending on who he's feuding with. And in this case specifically, I'm not going to mince words here. Fucking Solo deserved what was happening to him on Monday. He has been interfering in the Usos shit for weeks. He has been a constant thorn in Roman's side for years. And he has done nothing but talk shit about his brothers and the Bloodline for a while. Let's not forget, it was not the Usos who were like, hey, let's bring Jacob back to the Bloodline. No. Solo literally spiked Jimmy first weeks ago, and then Roman gave Jacob the order to bring him back to the Bloodline like a month and a half ago on SmackDown. But Solo interfered in a match that Jimmy was in with LA Knight for no reason and spiked him. Like, that was when Solo was still like a heel, because he still had the MFTs with him at that point in time. He was still a heel. So he fired the first shot. This is on Solo, bro.
Well, let's think ahead now. Let's think now that we saw everything that happened on Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns is most likely going to be feuding with not just Solo, but LA Knight as well. After what Solo did to Roman, I think he's going to be really over with the fans, right? And obviously, LA Knight is one of the biggest baby faces in the company. So if you put Solo, who is loved right now, with LA Knight, who is also loved, and you put him against Roman, I mean, we kind of have a clear heel versus babyface dynamic here.
Yes,
don't we?
and we need that, and I'll tell you why they're doing it. Because Roman, to me, is definitely a tweener, because he can work heel or face based on who he's feuding with. When he worked across CM Punk, he stayed as a tweener, bringing up the points he actually had against Punk. He didn't go full heel. He stayed tweener. When he worked with Seth, he relegated himself to being the babyface, because in their story, as Seth even admitted to, between when it comes to the two of them, Seth is the bad guy. And Seth said it himself in that promo. When it comes to me and you, I am the bad guy. I created the monster you became. Everything that happened to you was my fault. But also on top of that, this is a smart idea to have Roman play heel for these two, because if the entire goal is to get LA over more with the fans, to get them to a point where we feel like we can have that title match, and to get Solo completely converted to a face and have him as over as possible and make him as big a star as they can, what bigger star could you possibly have them do that against than Roman Reigns being a tweener leaning heel? Because all his star power and all his charisma is only going to help them story-wise. It's only going to help build them. So to me, this is an incredibly smart decision.
Bro, I forgot about that promo with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And I remember when Seth Rollins specifically told Roman, I'm the bad guy. But I didn't take that as like, oh, Seth Rollins is admitting that he's the heel. No, I took it as like, well, if you want to call me the bad guy, fine, I'll be the bad guy. But if doing this and that,
that's different. That's different.
Exactly.
When you saying it, you saying it that way is Seth basically. If Seth were to say, if you want to call me the bad guy, I'm the bad guy, that's different. That would be someone saying, I don't care what you call me whatever you want to call me, and whatever makes you feel better.
He was saying, though.
No, he didn't. What he said was, in that promo, when it comes to you and me, I know I am the bad guy. I put the chair in your back. I betrayed you. I sided with Triple H.
That's not what he said, bro. Go back
but
and
that
listen
is
to the promo.
But that is what he said. He literally admitted to Roman, it's my fault fault you became the monster that you are. I created you through my selfishness because I wanted to get ahead in my career my way. And he said I was willing to do whatever it took to do it. Seth admitted that. So it's not him just going, oh, however you feel. It's Seth taking ownership, saying, when it comes to me and you, I started this shit. It was my fault that we have problems to begin with. So,
that's
yeah,
not how
if you
I remember it, bro. He said those things. He said, so, yes, he did say, I'm the bad guy. But
are you trying to misinterpret him taking ownership?
I'm reading between the lines. I'm reading. I'm thinking about the overall picture, not just the words that are coming out of his mouth.
But it was also in the video packages where Seth admitted in those video packages leading up to their fight. He goes, I did this to you. I betrayed you. And then I rubbed it in your face. And then I wanted to get in your head. So I rubbed it in your face more. And then and then at WrestleMania, I hit you in the back of the chair to stop you against Cody, to keep reminding you that I will always be the person that did this to you.
Yeah.
A good person does not constantly remind you of the time they hurt you most.
Yeah.
So, that's all Seth does every time they feud. He reminds Roman every time they feud. I betrayed you. Remember that I stabbed you in the back, that I hurt you, that I did this, and I'm rubbing it in your face. Yeah, that's salt in the wound. That's not a good person.
But you're completely forgetting about all the bullshit Roman Reigns has done as well. Like, you're acting like Roman Reigns is like this big fucking angel.
I'm not acting like that. Yes, I literally said, no, I didn't, because I literally called him a monster. I said Seth admitted to turning Roman into the monster he became. I said that 3 times. But also, I'd like to remind you, Roman never did anything to Seth ever since. Nothing equal to anything. Notice how Roman never interfered in a match that Seth had. He never fucking came up behind him, promised an alliance, and stabbed him in the back. He never came up and jumped him in the ring to keep him from a title. Roman never stooped low enough to equal anything that Seth had actually done to him. Roman always took the high road. So, but in their case, and when it comes to this, he can't take the high road with Solo. He tried. That was the point of tribal combat. And what did Solo do? He spat in Roman's face, refused to bend the knee, still shit-talked him and ran his own family, then would attack Jimmy earlier this year for no freaking reason. Like, what's Roman supposed to do at that point? I'm not letting it go after all this time. I brought you into this bitch. I gave you the money that you had that big house for your family in. I'm the reason you're a fucking star. I brought your ass to the table that I'm the head of, bro. So I'm on Roman's side with this.
I know you are, dude. Let me give a quick shout out to Devin Williams. I think he should fully commit to heel. There's too many tweeners. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for too. I mean, I guess we'll see. I think it's going to be interesting, because I think no matter what Roman does at this point in his career, I think the people are going to love him no matter what. So it doesn't.
Oh, that's why they're doing this with him. That's why I said he's the perfect star to build Solo and LA into even bigger stars, because Roman has gotten to the point where no matter what you do to him, he's basically untouchable. The only way you could ruin Roman Reigns is if you turned him back into the big dog. That's the only thing that would ever turn the fans on, because fans love him being a face, they love him being a heel, and they love him walking the line in between both. They just love being around him as his character. They love going to a live show and being able to say, oh, I saw Roman Reigns live. That's the level of star power he's gotten to. Well, you could do anything with his character, aside from relegating him back to big dog status. The fans would still just come in droves to see him.
Well,
that's why it's a genius.
I want to hear what the people think, though. I mean, I see the follows, I see the likes and all that good stuff, but let's hear what you guys think about, Roman's, I guess, where he stands in all this. Do you think he's more of a baby face or a heel or a tweener? Let us know. Because me and Mr. Bludd, this is an ongoing debate that we have when it comes to Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns is an asshole, and Mr. Bludd loves everything about him, and he's a paragon of virtue, can do no wrong.
I never said that at all. I literally said that Seth admitted to turning Roman into the monster he became. When I say that, that's also me agreeing that he turned him into a monster. Otherwise, I would have said, well, Seth just said that, he turned him into this supposed monster. No, I tripled down and said the monster that he became, because Roman did become a tyrant. But Roman became a tyrant because if you've noticed something in Roman's entire history in WWE, Roman has never betrayed a single person. He's never stabbed any of his partners or teams in the back. He has never gone back on his word with a single person he made a deal with. Have you ever noticed that? Roman is, even as a heel, Roman has never once betrayed a single person. And he's been betrayed multiple times.
No, but he treats his family like shit, and he talks down to them, and he does everything in between. He doesn't do all those things you said, but he does other stuff.
But doing that stuff is not him still, because there's a difference between, you treat someone like shit, you can just walk away. Sammy, why did you put the chair in his back at Rumble? Seth, why did you put the chair in his back years ago? Jey Uso, why did you pretend to be on his side, look your brother in the face, and then turn around and cheap shot super kick Roman in the face? Solo, why did you turn on Roman?
Bro, Solo literally tried to walk away, and Roman Reigns fucking forced him back into the family just to treat him like shit. What the fuck was that?
Well, why do you keep shit talking the main branch of the family then?
Because he's an asshole. What the fuck?
Solo? Yeah, I know he is.
No, Roman.
No, Solo walked away because he lost Tribal Combat. He was supposed to acknowledge Roman and didn't. He was supposed to acknowledge Roman and didn't, because that was their agreement if he lost. And then instead of acknowledging Roman, he shit-talked him for a year and a half.
He did the same thing to Jacob, too. He forced him into the family. Jacob didn't want to go, and he was like, nah, you're going to be my bitch. And I'm going to tell you what to do, and I'm going to domesticate.
He didn't force Jacob either. We've been over this. He didn't force Jacob into the bloodline. It was a stipulation of if Jacob lost, and Jacob lost and honored it like a man. Jacob's own words.
Created by who? Who made the stipulation?
The stipulation was Roman, because Jacob kept attacking him unprovoked for 3 weeks straight. If you try to crush my trachea, there's a stipulation on the match. You want my title? I want something in return. And you beat me, you become champion. But if I win, you acknowledge me.
Bro, Roman Reigns literally told Jacob he was going to domesticate him.
Yes, after Jacob tried to choke the shit out of him 3 weeks in a row. I talk shit too if you tried to crush my throat 3 times. Look, and by the way, turnabout's fair play. Jacob wanted a championship from Roman, which is significantly more important than Roman going, hey, look, if you win, sure, you're the champion. But if I win, all I want is for you to acknowledge that I'm the head of the table. Significantly less consequential than being the number one champion in the company, by the way. So all Roman asked for was, I just want your respect when this is over.
Well, we'll see what happens with Roman, because the next thing I want to do is I want to do some quick predictions for Monday Night Raw, because they announced some of the matches, and I want to see what we can come up with when it comes to these matches that we're going to see on Monday, which, by the way, it's going to be an earlier time than usual this week because of the European tour. But let's get started with Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxanne Perez is going to go down this week on Monday Night Raw, or next week, I should say. What do you think?
We're doing predictions for the match card for Monday?
Yes.
I got to say Stephanie's got to win, because it's no, you know what? No, she's not going to win. It's going to end in no contest or interference, because Becky hinted at that. She said, oh yeah, have your match next week with Roxanne. And I'm sure no one's going to interfere and no one's going to cause a distraction. It's going to be 100% fair, one-on-one, without any outside interference. It's going to be everything Becky said it wouldn't be, sarcastically. So I definitely say, let's just, because here's the thing, you don't want to beat Stephanie on her first match back, but you also don't want to keep making Roxanne look weak too. So I would say if Roxanne wins, it's due to interference, but Becky will still maybe come out against her better judgment and help Stephanie, who, in my opinion, based on last week and the week before, doesn't even deserve Becky's help, mind you. So I'm gonna say Roxanne with interference.
Interesting.
Because at least you can protect Stephanie in the loss.
Yeah, I think we get a run in by Becky, but maybe after the match. I'm gonna say this match ends clean. I'm gonna say Stephanie Vaquer is gonna hold her own, because this is her first match back since being injured, and if she's gonna go up against Liv Morgan at some point or in a triple threat with Becky or whatever the case, I think they have to give Stephanie some wins to make her look strong. And maybe after the match, after Stephanie Vaquer beats Roxanne, that's when we get all the run-ins and all the shenanigans with Stephanie Vaquer and Becky Lynch. Maybe they get a little face-to-face again. But I'm going to go the other way and say Stephanie beats Roxanne clean.
I definitely think it's going to be mid-match. I don't see Liv being patient enough to wait till post-match.
All right. The next match, let's go. This is the number one contenders tournament to determine who is going to face Roman Reigns. And we got La Parca versus Penta.
Penta. Easy. Next. It's such a predictable tournament. They're bringing this to a Lucha Bros final. It's just clear.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. I guess I'm going with Penta too, but depending on what happens on AAA this weekend, I may change my prediction because there's this weird thing going on in AAA that may affect Penta's possibility or his shot at this tournament, because some fans believe that Los Perros del Mal, which is a faction from AAA that Penta had a confrontation with last weekend, could potentially show up on Monday Night Raw to cost Penta, again, depending on what goes down this weekend on AAA. But for now, I'm just going to stick to Penta.
Well, shout out to GBG. Good night, Shadow King, Noobs AI bot. Have a great night. But yeah, I definitely agree with you.
All right. We're going to have a second match for the number one contenders tournament. Rey Fenix versus Dragon Lee.
Rey Fenix. He's Penta's brother. This is going to be a Lucha Bros final.
Yeah, I think that's what it was kind of foregone conclusion since this thing was announced from the very beginning. That's what a lot of people were predicting is we're going to get Rey Fenix and Penta in the finals, but
yeah, so glad we had all these AAA talent get showcased so they could lose to our WWE main guys.
Yeah. All right, and the fourth and final, well, this isn't a match. This is more of a segment that was announced for Monday Night Raw, is the big contract sign-in for Obafemi versus Braun Breaker for their match at Sunday night's main event.
I definitely think we're going to get some good promo work out of Oba and some good retaliation promo out of Braun. I do feel like Heyman is going to be in the middle and Braun's going to get pissed off about the handshake. We're going to get some tension there. Maybe Oba defends Paul from Braun if Braun gets a little too hot under the collar. And then Braun is going to start feeling like the odd man out, feeling like he's being isolated and like Paul is 100% turning against him for Oba, and it's going to make him paranoid. And I think that's going to result in hopefully some kind of beat down through the contract. We're going to get some kind of brawl. As to who's going to stand tall, I would imagine they're going to try to keep Oba looking as strong as possible. But I would like to see them let Braun stand tall so there's doubt seated in people's mind of, oh shit, maybe he can beat Oba.
Yeah, I mean, since the last contract signing that we saw from Obafemi with Brock Lesnar, it wasn't your usual contract signing, right? Because they were inside the Hell in a Cell. Brock Lesnar locks Oba in the Hell in a Cell. It was actually that was a weigh-in. It wasn't a contract signing.
Yeah, it was a weigh-in. Yeah, it was a weigh-in. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this isn't a traditional contract sign-in where they sign, someone gets put through a table. Like, I don't want to see these two get physical until Sunday night's main event. But I kind of
would like to see it, though.
What I would like to see is the Vision trying to jump Oba. And obviously, Obafemi's going to lay them all out. But I want to wait until Sunday night's main event for Braun Breaker and Oba to get it on.
I mean, I would kind of like the Vision to, who's really the Vision, honestly? Like Theory? Because I mean, I don't even know if Logan's fully healed yet. He's just out of the cast.
Right.
But even then, I do know that we did hear that Theory did say, "I'm gonna get my revenge on Oba or whatever." So Theory could try and get in the way, and I could see Braun getting pissed at Theory and making him stay out of his way, and then we get some tension there, and maybe we can get Braun away from the Vision more, because the Vision's definitely turned into an undercard act. And I would like to see them separate Braun from that completely.
Well, that's what they got for Monday Night Raw this week. And just a heads up for everybody, they're going to do a double taping this Monday, which means Friday Night SmackDown is going to be pre-taped next week. So look out for spoilers for that.
Yeah, going to be spoilers galore.
And also the following week after that, they're going to be taping 2 more shows. So, yeah, it's going to be, I think 3 shows in total are going to be pre-taped next week and the week after that. I don't know. I don't remember the exact schedule. But, yeah, spoilers galore for sure is going to be going down, unfortunately. But that's all I had planned for today, Mr. Bludd. Is there anything else that is worth mentioning before we get out of here?
Nope. I haven't broken my fast yet. I'm hungry as hell, and I'm going to go make me some nice tuna tataki.
Is this the Bloodline podcast? TJB on the comments says, no, this is the Snug Wrestling podcast. My name is Edgar. I'm one of the hosts. And Mr. Bludd, if you can take us home, please.
I am Mr. Bludd, and I am the other host. And speaking of that, thank you guys for joining us here on Snug Wrestling. You can hit us up and hang out with us every single week after Monday Night Raw goes off the air for live post-show reviews, as well as on Wednesday for NXT's reviews at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, and 8 o'clock Central. And, of course, here on Thursdays for 1 hour at those exact same times where we discuss random or relevant wrestling topics here on TikTok Live. And, of course, every Sunday at those same times for our SmackDown post-show reviews. Of course, in 2 weeks, you can mark your calendars. We'll be doing the predictions for Sunday night's main event at those same times, live on Apple and Spotify, YouTube, Kick, Facebook, Instagram, and more. And of course, if you miss us while we're live during the weeks, our video version of our podcast is always over on our YouTube at Snug Wrestling, or you can follow us over on Apple and Spotify, where we have about over 400 or so episodes, a timeline for you to check on out. So until next time, guys, thank you so much. You can stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug here with us on Snug Wrestling.